At 6 tonight, Superior Police are responding as they say misinformation is circulating on social media after a deadly shooting involving one of their officers. A Superior Police officer fatally shot 42-year-old David Menton during an exchange last Tuesday. The Wisconsin Department of Justice broke down what they claim happened the morning after, but since then, some witnesses have continued to claim what they saw tells a very different story. Kyrie Johnson was at the Douglas County Courthouse this afternoon where Menton's family and friends gathered today demanding justice. Kyrie, what are you hearing from both sides tonight?
Laura, in a statement just released within the last hour, Police Chief Paul Winterscheid shared what he says he can responsibly share at this point in the investigation. I'll break that down in just a moment, but he added his department remains cooperative and committed to transparency. Today, 2 eyewitnesses shared a different account with me, and they feel unreleased body camera footage may be the critical missing link. The Wisconsin DOJ says a superior officer found a wanted person with 2 others on Oaks Avenue just before 10 p.m. Tuesday. Investigators say as the officer approached, one of those additional people, identified to us by family and friends as David Menton, tried to run. They also say a physical altercation followed. The officer was hurt and the officer fired, striking Menton. Now, 2 witnesses who say they were there tell me what they saw doesn't match the information the DOJ put out. They confirm Menton had a probation warrant, but believe the officer was there looking for someone else.
The police officer got out of his vehicle and started running at David. He pushed the door open. He grabbed David and threw him on the ground outside.
Eyewitnesses say Menton ran and initially resisted the officer in a struggle, but they say he was pinned on his stomach the entire time.
I expected handcuffs to be put on next, but instead of that, I hear a gunshot. I start screaming. I'm in shock. I am crying. I'm yelling, "You shot him, you shot him."
In a statement Monday, Superior's police chief says unreleased body camera video shows his officers attempting life-saving measures. But witnesses say they never saw that happen. Investigators said a firearm was recovered from the scene, police sharing this photo of the alleged gun Monday.
He didn't have a weapon on him. He wasn't going for a weapon.
Both witnesses say Menton had no weapon on him, but the officer used deadly force and Menton was pronounced dead at the scene. The DOJ says the officer was wearing a body camera and is on paid administrative leave. Menton's family is hoping that footage will tell the full story.
Absolutely, I want to see exactly everything that happened, dude. I want to hear, I want to feel like what was going through his head, you know.
Now, as for what comes next, the Wisconsin Department of Justice is investigating. Winterscheid says their department follows a strict timeline for releasing information. He added additional images and video will be released when it will not compromise the integrity of any ongoing investigation. Live in studio, Kyrie Johnson, Northern News Now.